We have arrived. The sacrificial chamber of torture and torment lies underground.
They could maybe have come up with a better name than that. Torture and torment? Are those not roots of, or coming from the same root? You sure you want this?
Sure you know what you're doing?
I can only hope I do. Please, let's go. The longer we delay, the less control I shall have of my faculties. I'd really prefer not to hurt you.
Okay. You lead the way. Also, so Geralt mentioned this previously, and there's been some allusions to it in the past, but obviously, so Regis is a vampire, so by his nature would normally like to drink blood, but has, at least as of late, been trying to refrain from doing so, which is part of the reason why, despite him being a vampire, we're actually friends with him, and you could generally say he's kind of a good guy, and not someone that we should be, hunting down, trying to kill. But then there's all this mention of him at one point in time being, addicted to blood. I mean, is that just a reference to him generally being a vampire, and so all vampires are in some ways inherently addicted to blood? Or was there, like, a more specific instance in which, like, Regis just went absolutely crazy and, hurt a bunch of people, and so, that's sort of the fear that he had. I mean, I guess generally speaking, as a vampire who is trying to avoid drinking blood, there's always that fear of getting back into that mode of being that predator and, hunting people down and drinking their blood. Yeah, I remember back in The Witcher 1 that the explanation about higher vampires, at least, was that they don't need blood. It's mostly just like an extra thrill. It's they enjoy drinking it, but they don't need it per se, sort of like alcohol. And so I guess in that sense you could draw the comparison as well to the whole addiction component where, there are, much like a human person can be addicted to drinking alcohol, so too can a vampire get addicted to drinking blood. I guess I'm just trying to delve more specifically into Regis's past and try to understand, is there like a specific thing that he's referring to? Like this, like there was this one moment, this one situation I found myself in which I lost control of myself and, I hurt a bunch of people because I drank a whole village's blood, kind of like the guy that he was referring to earlier. Or is it just, okay, well, generally speaking, I'm a vampire, so, like, there's always that risk of me going into this crazy, bloodthirsty mode. So maybe it's just that, because he's a vampire. Simple as that. Just trying to get a better sense as to the full backstory behind Regis, because despite him being such a major character, don't know too much about him still.
You lead.
Maybe he will? Okay. Oh, there's just a dead person right next to us. Okay.
Scurvers must be getting close to their feeding ground.
Correct.
What's a scurver?
I told you there'd be danger. Beyond this wall lies
an ancient vampire dungeon. Seen a lot of things in my time. Nothing quite like this, though.
I feel honored. A man with such a wealth of experience, yet I'm about to show him something new. Now, to open it.
Oh. Right.
How the hell?
It's an ancient form of protection against unwanted guests. The mechanism which releases the latch reacts only to a higher vampire's blood.
Tricky mechanisms, a vampire hideout. Fortified, secured. Must have been important to your species once, Toussaint.
Yeah, also, I did not pull out that torch. Geralt just took that upon himself to do that. It's like, oh, okay, apparently we're doing this now.
It shall always be so. During the conjunction, the gate from our world to this one opened upon this land and no other. This was the first place we saw.
Oh, you saw it specifically. Really? Yeah, that was interesting. Earlier, Regis did make mention of how he was conscious of... What's this? But Regis was conscious of the time in which predated the conjunction of spheres, which is when the sort of monster world and the world in which we live in now collided, and therefore the monsters started appearing in what was previously a world of humans, elves, and dwarves. I am he who serves the tribe. Exalted above men, I renounce human weakness. Uplifted above men, I become keeper of my flock. Filled with strength, I turn my sword against the enemies of the tribe. I am master and slave. I am executor of the will of the tribe. I accept this sword and this armor, so I may serve the tribe. Champion of TESHAM MUTNA, okay. Oh, other stuff to loot here? Oh! That looks cool. Let's check it out. Got the sword, which is weaker than our existing steel sword, though does have a lot of crit stuff happening. Despite it having 21 less damage. Actually, if we repair that... well, actually, I think the minus 21 is... Yeah, regardless of the fact that it's a little bit beat up at the moment. But it's 21 less damage, but it's 25% better crit damage bonus. As well as coming with the chance of bleeding and chance to stun. I feel like chance to stun could be great. And armor piercing is the same. I feel like this is... Oh, and this part down here. Killing opponents restores vitality. Amount of vitality restores equals 1% of maximum vitality for each element of set worn. Currently, that amount is 0%. Okay. Well, these are the other components of the set. They are heavy armor. Which means we probably don't really want to be equipping them. But let's see what they look like at the very least. Ooh. It's very gothic. Very dark and vampire-y. Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I like the sword. If we equip the sword, does that count as at least having one piece of the set? Oh, well, let's take these off. Put back on our old armor. But yeah, we do still have 1%, so that means we restore 1% of maximum vitality for each. 1% of our vitality whenever we kill an opponent. Doesn't sound like a lot, but, you know, if we're fighting a lot of little enemies, then that could add up. And it is roughly the same power as our other sword, so even if we're just using that sword, I feel like it's worth testing it out. Yeah, let's check out the other stuff as well. Human husbandry and care.
Human husbandry and care? This for real?
The author observed humans, their behavior, over the many years he spent breeding them.
Breeding them?
Maybe it's a thorough survey of the topic.
Breeding humans, you say? I did also close that book in order to more easily hear what Regis was saying. / didn't want to interrupt him. So that does now mean that we probably need to track this down again. Let's go to books. Might be a little bit easier. This one. Most important aspect of raising human livestock. Okay. Is to provide the herd with conditions that, on the one hand, guarantee their survival, but on the other hand, do not extend too far beyond the minimum needed for that survival. It should be borne in mind that people are creatures bestowed with great intelligence, or rather cunning and instincts that allow them to gain as much as possible from their environment. In terms of husbandry, this means humans will always try to obtain more than we give them. It is recommended, therefore, to provide each individual with a place to sleep, a meal twice a day, and permanent access to water. These conditions, which might seem overly luxurious to some, ensure the optimal production of high-quality hemoglobin, blood. For more details on diet in later chapters, also essential is access to air, without which humans die within minutes. You don't say. There's no need to be concerned about the ability for human livestock to multiply, in the conditions described above. If they are ensured a minimal existence and male and females are mixed, they will copulate irrespective of whether they are in captivity or not. It is worth mentioning here that there is a school of thought that suggests treating human livestock with greater freedom and care, including providing them with better quality fodder and a certain degree of freedom. This allegedly ensures a greater amount of favorable elements in the blood and makes it tastier. However, it is worth mentioning that this method of husbandry is more difficult and requires emotional bonding techniques, which will be discussed in the following chapters. That is pretty funny. So they are attempting to breed humans? It's like, whoa, crazy stuff. That's not so cool, but then again, I mean, it's vampires, so it's like... I suppose they've sort of been, in some ways, trying to control our destiny for who knows how long? Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to interrupt him when we opened up the book or not. It didn't seem like it actually was once I did, but,
Yes. Great many bees have breathed their last here.
yeah, I was fearful that it was just going to cut him off entirely and we would never hear it. Yeah, there's a lot of dead stuff around here. No shortage of the dead stuff. Hey, what's at the bottom of the pit? More death? Probably. Okay, so
Glyphs are carved into the rock. Coated with blood used to be. They mean something?
They're emblems, symbols of, what you would call tribes, dispersed throughout the world after the conjunction. My ancestors placed them here to remind us all where we came from.
Okay. I was gonna say that we picked up some pieces of that set for, like, the vampire heavy armor stuff. But we did not get a full set, so I wonder if maybe we'll find the others scattered elsewhere in this area.
And this one? Which tribe's this?
Garisham, my tribe, and Deadlove's. We both remained in this part of the world.
Okay. So that explains a little bit more the tie between those two and why Detloff would just casually, like, sacrifice himself or, you know, hurt himself or whatever he technically had to do in order to bring Regis back to life. Because Regis made it sound like that was no easy feat for him to make that happen. Oh no, that's the same thing. Okay. Oh, what about this one? That looks different. They both look like hands, but this one has a snake and the other one had blood.
What's this symbol mean?
It's the symbol of the Tedet, those who went east beyond the Blue Mountains.
Okay. Battery cage versus free-range humans? Oh, man. I mean, it's just like we're reading about chickens here, except replace chickens and hens for humans.
Seems your kind assembled a peculiar little library.
In recent decades, many of us who have come to believe that a much more effective way of obtaining good quality human blood than hunting individuals is their systemic controlled husbandry. Apart from the obvious advantages, such as being able to control what the flock eats and the ability to crossbreed specific individuals to obtain offspring with the best hemoglobin, another clear advantage to breeding human flocks again, also, sounds like we're birds, is that domesticated humans held in confinement are opposed to those in their natural habitat, i.e. villages and towns. Because less aggressive and therefore less troublesome. But humans in confinement are less aggressive. Okay, gotcha. When it comes to farming humans, again, there are various schools, of which two seem to have gained the widest acceptance in recent times, namely battery cage and free-range husbandry. This thesis describes in detail the advantages and disadvantages, as well as the methods of carrying out each type of breeding. As an introduction, it is worth mentioning the basic differences between both types. Battery cage human husbandry, described in very accurately and in detail in the book Human Husbandry, is the placing of several male and female individuals in a closed, restricted space with permanent access to air, food, and water. This form of breeding differs from free range in that the flock is not permitted to leave the breeding area and is held captive for the entirety of their lives. There is a phrase to describe what you are writing here, and I do not dare say what it is. Free range, on the other hand, involves leaving the flock in its natural habitat or creating a habitat that simulates it closely, i.e. creating villages, more on which can be found in the chapter Human Villages, Establishing and Growing a Herd, and then making the herd psychologically or physically dependent on its owner. Most effective method for making a human individual dependent is guaranteeing its safety and permanent access to high-quality feed. It is worth adding that a human that trusts its owner does not feel fear and does not defend itself when having its blood drunk, which limits the production of non-adrenaline and cortisol, which have a negative impact on the taste of the blood. Furthermore, it may happen that a domesticated free-range human may feel a certain pleasure when its owner drinks its blood, most likely associated with, some kind of tension, which causes an intensification in the blood's flavor.
Indeed, though I personally did not lay a hand to it.
Sure, you didn't. It is interesting, though, to see, like, with these two symbols here, this whole society of vampires, when previously, we'd fight the occasional vampire here and there, and we'd kind of just see them as the typical type of monster. Okay, here is more pieces. Here are more pieces to that set. That might even be everything. Okay, where did the pieces go that we just picked up? The helmet and the... Did they auto-equip? I think they might have. So again, they're heavy. At this point, we'd be getting 4% life back whenever we take out an enemy, which is, at that point, starts to become pretty significant. Yeah, I don't know why that auto-equipped. I think the only thing we're missing now would be gloves and one of the other swords, a silver sword. But yeah, it's cool to hear about this vampire society and get these hints that, okay, well, it wasn't just this chaotic, every vampire for themselves type of thing. They had a whole system. This one looks like the one we saw previously.
Ah, disgraceful. Excruciatingly so, this particular page from our history. I'd rather not summon the demons of the past if it's all right with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did just read about the incarcerated humans and what have you. So, that's presumably what this was all about.
And this one? Which tribe's this?
Garisham.
Yeah. His
My
tribe, Detloff's tribe.
Detloff's. We both remained in this part of the world.
Yeah, so that's that one, but then this is the other one we saw, where they went to the Blue Mountains. Is here. 3 dolls. That was their form of entertainment. That... the one for the people who went over the Blue Mountains, or is this different? Also, I'm stuck. Okay, no, Geralt just looked at it and did nothing.
Whose is this glyph?
Amaran. They ventured beyond the sea.
That's new, okay. I've seen that one. That's Blue Mountains people. And that is obnoxiously loud. And also valuable. Notes of a TESHAM MUTNA prisoner. Found a piece of parchment that fell from the pocket of one of the monsters. I also have a lump of coal. I would write this in my own blood, but I have hardly any left. Also would probably get their attention. I'm cold. Every 3rd day, they come and open my veins, after which I cannot move. Cannot go on much longer. In the next cage, I hear the howls of terrified people. If I had the strength, I would smash my head against the bars. Hope it won't go on much longer. Alois from the cage next to me died yesterday. Drank the blood that, they drank him to They drank him to death. This must have irritated them, because I heard them arguing in their strange language. They brought new people in this morning. You could say that a supply of fresh blood arrived. They have no idea what they are in for. My only comfort is that I know already that I won't have to live through the terror that I felt the first time they came for me. I had no idea what they wanted until they pulled off their shiny instruments. I've never seen such beautiful metal. My blood glistened, a purple silvery color, in those instruments. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Got this. Transcript of a conversation with a lower being. So yeah, very, very strong vibes of, the vampires being all, we are the superior species type business. Transcript of a conversation between Master Ezekiel Hildegard and a human being. So that means, presumably, PH is that person who's a vampire, then HB is human being? Yeah, okay, so who are you? My name is Alex Viscount. Why is all your skin trembling? I'm scared, sir. You're scared? I don't understand. You don't know what fear is, sir? No, I've mastered your language, yet some concepts are beyond me. What is fear? It's a feeling that destroys every other feeling. It controls your head and your heart. What do you mean? I thought it was a kind of pain. I have carried out tests in my laboratory on people and discovered that a mother subject to appropriate stimuli is able to forget about her child and think only about how to avoid pain. So fear would be similar to pain? No. Pain rules the body, but fear is born in the heart. Oh, yes. What you say is very interesting. I think I will have to examine your heart in the laboratory. What do you mean, examine? I mean examine. Take it out and subject it to proper examination. But sir, that would kill me. Yes, your mortality is a great inconvenience. But it was not me who created your species, and I am not responsible for its excessive frailty. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's creepy. Okay, they are the gloves. Oh, and now we're encumbered. Yeah, because those are heavy armor, so they do weigh a bit. We did not sell stuff recently, so I think we'll just dump some other random swords and what have you. These are worth something, yes, but just find one that's like kind of on the heavy side. Or even the armor's probably heavier. Well, like that, yeah. Let's drop this. And this is probably heavier still. Yeah, okay, that should give us plenty of room. I imagine we will have additional things to pick up soon. These are all symbols we've seen, okay. Let's save. Because this is looking a lot like the place where stuff goes down.
Charming place. But what are all those cages for? Mentioned one vampire being kept here.
Yes, well, you see, humanitarians is something my ancestors were not. They concluded Kagmar would best be punished if he were tormented with the scent of blood he could not taste.
Oh.
Thus, they also kept humans here. Humans whose blood they slowly let. Kagmar ranted and raged in pain as those humans slowly bled to death.
They treated them like livestock. Live bait.
I'd like to be able to turn back time, deny it, but alas, I can do neither. Feel shame for my brethren. That is all I can do.
Don't take it so hard. Nothing you could have done about it. Let's get to work.
Well,
Unless he was there with them.
fine. I prepared the bait. Please be so kind and place it, ideally at the tunnel entrances. The scent will spread most effectively then.
Okay.
Place the bait at the tunnel entrances. Monsters will catch its scent more quickly.
When I think how these tunnels got here, send shivers.
It was the natural order of things. The place
Was it,
reeked
though?
of death and it attracted necrophages.
Oh. Away he goes. Just chilling up there? He's just running around, really. What are these? And why are they red? Oh, okay, that was one of the spots. Okay, for a second I thought I just put it in one of the places where I was not supposed to put it. Is this one of them? Supposed to knock these down? Why are these red? Am I supposed to R them? Or, ah, okay. And we may have the room to place bait. Gotcha. Okay. Are there other things for us to loot before we initiate this encounter? So, at least if everything goes according to plan, the idea is we'll attract a bunch of those monsters. We'll kill them. And, Regis will be trapped in this cage and he'll be in a lot of pain. Can we examine this? We can.
This'll hold. Doesn't look like anything special.
I told you. Kagmar thrashed about inside it for over 2 centuries. Appearances can be deceiving.
Okay. And so, yeah, we'll fight all those monsters, and then Regis trapped in there will go absolutely insane. But I feel like there's a non-zero chance that if things go wrong here, we actually could fight Regis. Which, part of me feels like, that'd be terrible, obviously.
Done. One left. Think this
If
will work?
we hurt each
I
other.
certainly hope so. Its stench is so thick, I wager it carries clear to Novigrad.
But on the other hand, it'd be kind of cool. Okay. So let's save before we get all this stuff started. And now, stuff goes down. I'll Regis when we're ready to fight. And I think we are. Not sure what, if anything else, we do prep. Other than just, like, air stuff and throw on oils and what have you. Erendite's fine. Oh, wow. Okay, our armor, yeah, at least the chest plate in particular is quite beat up. The other things are not. I was gonna say, we did not really check that nearly as often as our swords. 40% on you is a little bit of an over repair, but should be fine. Okay, and now I think we're good to go. I don't know exactly what kind of enemies we're going to fight. Probably necrophages, but we'll see.
Bait set.
Then we'll set the oil once we find out.
I shall enter the cage. You must chain me inside. The bars are made of an alloy that will prevent me from transforming into mist.
Kinda thought you wouldn't want to.
I shall be in great pain. My sole thought being to stop that pain. I cannot know what I will do.
Okay. What could possibly go wrong? No, we're just torturing you, is all.
We must hurry. The beasts have caught the scent, also my head. I started spinning.
That the blood?
Someone who's never experienced a vampire's bloodlust does not know the true meaning of thirst.
Okay. Up you go. Have a nice ride.
Maybe we need a safe word. Something you'll say when you can't take it anymore.
And what would you do once I uttered it?
Okay, hold on. Let's see. So Scurvers are a recent enemy. Category do they fall under? I imagine they're necrophages, right? Probably gonna be all necrophages here. Yeah. And they were an iteration on rot fiends, right? They explode. Use Quen is basically the only advice we get. And necrophage oil. So yeah, let's put on the necrophage oil in that case. And in terms of potions, I don't think Golden Oriole is going to be all that relevant here. I'm not expecting much in the way of poison, I don't think. Oh. Yeah, I don't mean to do that. I actually mean to swap it out. I mean, Vitality Regeneration does sound kind of interesting when we're using that sword. Oh no, that sword that we got was steel, right? So we're actually not going to be using it to fight these monsters. We're going to be using Erendite. So we won't have any additional leeching capabilities in that case. So what if we... That's a little bit of Vitality Regeneration. What about... Oh, we had some go-tos oftentimes for long, extended fights. But yeah, was it this? Griffin? No. Vitality regeneration during combat. Each foe slain accelerates vitality regeneration for the duration of the battle. I think we liked this, assuming that, we're gonna have a lot of enemies to fight here. Oh, we might have the other one equipped already. Succubus. Yeah. Attack power increases over the course of the battle until it reaches the maximum threshold. You can only use one of them at a time.
Don't know.
Ow.
Down.
We also do have a skill point we can use to level up right now, but maybe we save that for later.
You won't be able to. We must forge through this.
Oh, I just ignored the explosion. You're just a normal fool.
Smell the blood.
You're blown up. Don't stand there, Geralt. How's Regis doing? Or even... Okay, I think there's just a delay after we kill something. Then Regis's bloodlust continues to go up a bit. What the heck was that? A fletter?
Good.
I think this is our first time encountering a fletter in The Witcher 3. We saw many a fletter in The Witcher 1. That is technically a vampire. How you doing, Regis? Any of those guys dead? Oh. Go away. Might have killed something with damage over time there, because Regis' bloodlust did start going back up. Thinking this might be our last round of enemies here. Can you guys stop? Thank you. I'd like to get the fletter, although Regis is about to reach maximum bloodlust. More vampires coming now. Fletter down.
Hold on, I'll let you out.
Oh, okay, no catechins. Who needs them anyway? Hey, what's up, Regis? Sorry. We need it.
Need to hang on a little longer. Blood'll dry in a few hours. Scent won't bother you anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's really what he wants to hear right now.
Get you out of here.
The concoction.
You can't finish it in this state. Tell me how. I'll help you.
Oh, for a second there we were in Mirkwood, but maybe not.
Any better?
Far from ideal. And some time must pass before I fully recover. But yes, a bit better, thank you.
Okay. Shall we talk a little bit about what happened back there? I mean, we did just subject you to some extended torture. So, how you feeling?
Never expected it to be like that. You didn't tell me.
We need not discuss it.
But we do. Because if I'd known you were going to subject yourself to torture...
What would you have done?
Found Dettlaff some other way.
I did not wish you to use any other way. Did that occur to you?
No, because I thought no being would ever willingly subject itself to that kind of pain. You vampires aren't any different from us in that regard.
I told you, the pain is my way of paying my debt. The enormous debt I owe Dettlaff. If I had to do it again, I would in a heartbeat.
I mean, it is still... I get it. Dettlaff literally, actually brought him back to life. I mean, it does... I mean, he does say it a lot. I owe Dettlaff so much. I owe Dettlaff so much. Well then, do something about it? Don't just say, oh man, Dettlaff is so great. I love Dettlaff. If you really care about him so much, then do something else to more directly, show your appreciation. I guess that's sort of what we're doing, although we kind of are trying to hunt him down. I'm not sure that helping us is really the answer for Regis.
Resonance. It's ready.
Are you certain you followed the formula? The proportions were exact, the brewing time precise. This is important, Geralt.
I mean, it has been sitting there for the past couple minutes after we've been talking, but...
no Witcher dearly.
Relax. Got some experience brewing potions.
Very well. In that case, let's begin.
Excuse me. I shall only take a moment.
You jumped the queue, sir.
But Count, sir, you must understand. I've a meeting. The Count...
Sir, you were next. Please, take a seat. This gentleman was here first. Step down or you shall regret it.
Still got the claws out.
Fails to realize he was your friend, Count.
Oh, that's his right hand's the one with the claws. So, oh, didn't have him out at that point, okay. Dealing with these people, but what is the deal?
It was then I ordered him to give up his seat and step off the step. If only you'd seen his face. We got him good, didn't we, Dettlaff?
So it seems like those people know him.
We buy the mill. Curious, eh?
And are somewhat friendly with him. They know he's a vampire, though.
But at least I've a yarn to spin for friends and associates.
He does not like it when they touch him.
What?
Oh no. Okay, so that's the first victim. So one of the victims. What was that? Like chopped off his limbs. They like stuck something in his chest. Okay, that's a little excessive. That seemed like him getting frustrated with himself for losing control, and so he chopped off his own hand. Which has now grown back. His friend, or that other person, is now, of course, dead.